The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy.
You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is May 27th, 2020, episode 200. And this week, capitalism in the NWO. And my name is Basil.
And this is Gonz. Did you change up the title there?
I did. That was an on-the-fly title change.
See, I didn't go with that specific title because it would give too much credit to the guy who came up with it. We'll get into it later, but anyway.
Well,
Happy
he's a creative
slaves.
guy.
I know. I'm trying to bring the news, but evade and give too much credit to the order, to the global order.
Okay.
So
All
yeah.
right. I see. You're fighting the good fight, Gonz.
I know. I'm trying.
Well, it's weird. This is it's been a week since our last show. That's the longest we've gone for ever since, quarantine or social distance or whatever, house arrest, whatever you want to call it. This is the longest we've gone without doing a show, Gonz. How do you feel about that?
I actually did feel kind of weird. I felt like I was missing out. I was missing out on the news and bringing the news and the chat and just everything. So glad to be back on episode 200.
Yeah. So we apologize, everybody, that it's been so long since the last show. But, it's the Memorial Day weekend and you got to spend time with your family and all the things that go along with that. So I don't know. It was a good time. It was a nice little break. But I did miss it. I did miss doing the show. So we got to make sure not to go this long in between shows. Anything else interesting to report?
I did go to the store. I went to like 5 different stores. I went to Pavilions, a Whole Foods, a Ralph's. Where else? I ended up going to a Walmart and I think something else. I don't remember. I went to like 5 or 6 stores. Sold out. Yeast. I was going to make some bread for my sister's birthday.
Oh,
no
you're
yeast.
Jumping on the bread making train, huh?
I guess all the bread makers are hoarding the yeast because I got yelled at by the lady at Walmart. I was like, "Hey, can you help me find something?" And the lady was like, "What?" And I was like, "I was looking for some yeast. We have no yeast. It'll be in next week." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, well, sorry."
It was like a couple weeks ago. I started seeing stories about that, where suddenly flour and yeast were in a shortage, which is a weird thing for at least people our age here in America to experience. Really, a shortage of anything, but yeast and flour, was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Meat prices have blasted off too, I noticed.
Yeah,
yesterday.
I know. Well, yesterday it started blasting off?
No, I noticed it yesterday.
Oh, you noticed it yesterday.
I haven't bought meat in a while, but I went in yesterday I was trying to do a nice dinner, and there's like 30% premiums going on, at least in the store by my house.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you got to go straight to the farm.
I know. Gotta
get your own cow.
Hi, Mr. Farmer. Can I have a cow, please?
You had a story that you wanted to tell.
This is just something I wanted to talk about, and I couldn't really figure out where it fit in the show, so I figured I'll just start off with it.
Okay.
So when the whole house arrest thing started, I was so good, Gonz. I was working out every day. I was really taking care of myself, putting the time to good use, and then of course 2 months in, I must have been maybe a month in, it kind of, as workout plans go, they kind of disappear. Mm-hmm. And so I hadn't done anything. But 3 days ago, I started riding my bike. I started going on bike rides. Nice long one where I live. There's a river. I was riding down by the river. Beautiful. It's nice to get outside. But it's probably partially because of the weather warming up, partially because of I'm sure coronavirus and the economic issue, but the homeless population was out of control. It was
Really?
it's so, usually on that ride, it's down by the river. There's always a few tents, you would see maybe five tents throughout the whole ride. Let's call this maybe a 10-mile stretch along a river. And, you maybe see 20 homeless people throughout the whole thing. 3 days ago, I was out there. There must have been, I don't know, definitely over 100 tents.
Wow.
And they're getting creative out there. Big, huge structures built out of like tarps and pallets and things like that. Really, just a impressive little collection, a little city getting constructed down by the river, and easily over 500 people.
Wow.
Homeless people. Yeah, it kind of was alarming. I was like, oh my gosh, this is really so sad that there's so many of these people down here. And then, so that was my first bike ride. The next day, I went, this was yesterday, I went down there. Same thing, a ton, kind of the same deal, a ton of, actually, in fact, some new tents probably sprouted up. But I saw people, they had fires, cooking fires, campfires, and some of them were just in public parks. There'd be a public park, grassy area with maybe like 5 or 10 tents all set up, and they all had fires, like cooking fires.
Nice.
And yeah, but yesterday on the ride, there apparently one of these fires got out of control, and there's like a whole area where it looked like a bunch of tents had burned down.
Oh, no.
Which it was sad to see, and it was really intense. And there's people kind of picking through the fire looking for stuff to salvage. And then today, I went on a bike ride earlier today, and instead of 500 homeless people, I maybe saw about 20. And this is a bike path. There were 3 cop cars parked along the bike path in varying intervals, and police on motorcycles riding on the bike path. So in the span of 3 days, I saw the rise and fall of civilization.
The little homeless world that came and went.
It was wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also very sad. I mean, people are being affected by everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, today, like, I was riding my bike and I got stuck behind a police motorcycle on the bike path, and he wouldn't pull over for me. So anyways, that's my fun bike riding story.
Well, trying
to get the heart pumping again.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I've lost some weight too in the last couple months, so that's a good thing, I guess. But before we get into the Flippy update, I do have one quick update, because again, I didn't know where to put this in the episode. It is a sighting of one of the 4 horsemen.
The 4 horsemen, they technopolis.
Anytime you see the 4 horsemen, it's something special.
And this clip, people have shared it around. It's Bill Gates talking about some genetically modified things injected into kids, into the vein. So here's the clip.
And we're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms, and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein.
Very cool. Cool, Bill Gates.
He's so excited and like smiling and giggling about it.
Yeah, genetically modified. And I couldn't help myself. I had to make a jingle out of this. So here's the way we're going to memorialize this clip.
We're taking things that are genetically modified organisms, and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein, right into the vein, right into the vein, right into the vein.
There you go.
Right into the vein.
Right into the vein.
Right into the vein.
Yeah.
I like it. Good job. Good work.
Yep.
Good
Spending my time well.
Yeah. All right, Gons. I'm trying to get my VR hand to work here, but it's not working very well. I want to say a big ol' what's up to everybody on YouTube, everybody on Facebook watching, and everybody over there at Twitch. I see some returning friends. So I see you, 6-String Commando. I see DD59's here. We got all sorts of people coming back. So we're glad you guys are here. A little shout out to everybody. We'll be giving some shout outs to some new followers later on in the show. Oh my gosh, I've completely lost control of the situation. Oh gosh. Okay. All right. Let's I better stop moving things around and let's jump right into a Flippy update.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
Okay, for those who don't know, we try to keep up on the emerging world of robotics and how they are very sneakily working their way into our everyday lives. What that means, you know, Flippy in particular, referring to the burger flipping robot. They're usually disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. But you know, when we do 3 shows a day, we've surpassed
a week. You've done every time you say that, you say a day.
I keep saying that.
I really hope we can do 3 shows a day one day.
We do 3 shows a day. I don't know why people don't tune in to the other 2 shows. Yeah. Let's see. Anyways, yes. So the robotics industry is moving too slow for us. But we finally got something interesting here. People were posting this, tagging me over at canarycry.community. So thank you guys. I think that was Gary, maybe, but
it was Gary.
Okay, thanks, Gary. I remembered off the top of my head. So thanks, Gary, over at the Canary Cry community. And for those who don't know, we have a Facebook group called Canary Cry Community, but we also have an off Facebook, our own little space on the internet called canarycry.community. Go check it out. Okay, so this is coming from technocracy.news, which is a fun little website, popped up a few years ago, just in time for this show.
Well, it's run by Patrick Wood. Who,
that's right, Patrick Wood.
Yeah,
good job,
Age
buddy.
of Deceit 3, so there you go.
Article titled, Robots Could Gain Artificial Eye That Sees Like Human.
That's good.
Like human.
Like human.
Scientists have developed an artificial eye that could provide vision for humanoid robots or even function as a bionic eye for visually impaired people in the future. Researchers from the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology built the electrochemical eye dubbed ECI to resemble the size and shape of a biological eye, but with vastly greater potential. The eye mimics the human iris and retina using a lens to focus light onto a dense arrays of light-sensitive nanowires. Information is then passed through the wires, which act like the brain's visual cortex to a computer for processing. During tests, the computer was able to recognize the letter E, I, and Y. Cool. When
job.
They were projected onto the lens. The artificial eye could, in theory, be connected to an optic nerve to relay information to the human brain, the researchers said, while also improving camera-based eyes currently used in robots. Biological eyes are arguably the most important sensing organ for most of the animals on the planet, the researchers wrote in a paper describing the breakthrough. Quote, mimicking human eyes, artificial vision systems are just as essential in autonomous technologies such as robotics. Particularly for humanoid robots, the vision system should resemble that of a human in appearance to enable amicable human-robot interaction. Interesting. In addition to having superior device characteristics, the proof of concept device currently has a low resolution, as each of the 100 nanowires used in its construction only accounts for 1 pixel. Okay, so a little proof of concept thing. But there's some things to point out here. And for those who may be new to, the robotics scene, the way that robots see now, of course, most robots have some sort of camera on them that helps them move around. And it's hard for us to imagine a sense of sight that is nothing like our own sense of sight. But basically, that's how everything runs now. I mean, we're able to get a camera feed from a robot, but that's really just taking the signals from and translating it into a way that we can see it. So this is a pretty interesting development, especially, and it says right here in the article, the vision system should resemble that of a human in appearance to enable amicable human-robot interaction. So more than anything, having a robot that has an eyeball that looks like a human eyeball is probably most important for, making them a part of the family, Gons. You can't be looking into camera lenses, gazing into the sweet, sweet camera lens of your robot butler while you request for him to pick up the macaroni and cheese you spilled. Now you need a human-looking eye so you can feel guilt and love for your new robot friend.
Yeah, the personhood conversation comes to mind with just the idea of, do we want to mimic, the human image, the human, or just animals in general as well? And there's some people. Go ahead.
One more step into that uncanny valley. You
know? Well, there's some ethicists who suggest that we shouldn't use any kind of human form when we create robots, because it will create that connection, the empathy and all that kind of stuff based on the way things look, not so much the functioning behind it. So if you're going to make just like they're deconstructing the human brain, might as well deconstruct the human eye and stick one in the middle of the forehead of the robot.
Yeah, no, well, that's the thing. I mean, when we talk about technocracy and what robots mean for us, and if there's hasn't been enough TV shows to scare us off of making humanoid robots that are, going to overpower us and we have to fall in love with, this is an especially interesting development as far as that goes.
Yep.
I think it's also a little creepy.
It is definitely creepy.
What are you going to do?
You know what else is creepy is the New World Order. And Doublix Resistance in the chat is saying, look, the UN NWO website. Well, you're in luck, buddy.
Oh, it's the New World Order. It's here.
This has been making the rounds here. This is UNNWO.org. That's two N's, UNNWO.org. And here's the website if you're watching on screen. If not, I'll read through here. Let's take our planet back. And it's got the UN logo there. And in the About section, which was recently edited after a researcher named Spiro did a little report on it, the United Nations New World Order Project is a global, high-level initiative founded in 2008 to advance a new economic paradigm, a new political order, and more broadly, a new world order for humankind, which achieves the UN's global goals for sustainable development by 2030 and the happiness, well-being, and freedom of all life on Earth by 2050. New dates there, 2050. We had the 2045.
I know, we got to keep pushing it out,
man. I know. The 2030 agenda. The Agenda 21 was basically for the 21st century, and then we had the 2030 agenda, which gave a lot more specifics. And now we had, and then we reported on the 2045 thing from the Russian mogul Dmitry Itskov, saying that we're going to become cybernetic, mind upload, whatever, by the year 2045. And then now 2050 actually is the year everybody's going to be happy, apparently. Initiatives, you got the happytalism, like instead of capitalism, we have happytalism. We have the UNIDO happiness, which is the United Nations International Day of Happiness. And the UN Global Goals, which is the Sustainable Development thing there. Did you have something to say on that?
No, I just didn't want to breeze past capitalism.
We'll get to it
too quickly.
We'll get to a little more. And it says here, advancing a new economic paradigm. Why do I keep saying economic? Economic paradigm.
I don't know, man. We're rusty.
I know. It's been off for a week.
Haven't been in the game for a while, yeah.
Yeah, and it's got a couple quotes here, making an impact, making people happy, smiling kids, the whole deal. And if you go into the About section here, which disappeared, there it is, the About section. Oh, no, 10 billion. Oh, where'd it go? I guess the names of the people disappeared here. Well, anyway, the people behind this is a guy, and I made a tweet on this, is a guy named Jamie Ilian. And so based on some research that people have done, and I did a little bit of digging myself, because it looks fake. This website looks like it's not real. Like, are you kidding me? A UN New World Order website? You got to be joking.
I wouldn't say it looks fake. It's very well put together, but it's too on the nose.
Right. I mean, to use the word New World Order as part of the agenda is just, it's, on one hand, it's trolling maybe, but on the other hand, it's great to get people talking about it because
Yeah,
it's
that's
a
what
great
I thought.
marketing
I thought maybe
ploy.
one of our listeners put it together or something to screw with us.
Yeah. Well, a couple of the people behind it, Jamie Ilian, his name is listed on the official website of the United Nations. And the other guy, I believe, was somebody who, or it was the grandson, I think, of Nelson Mandela. So these people are involved in the United Nations very much so. So although this website may not be officially, officially have the stamp of approval from the United Nations directly, these members or the people that started it certainly do. And I do have a link to a video that I will put in the description section as well. Fact checked. Check is the United Nations New World Order website real? And again, it's done by a guy named Spiro. He did a very good job putting it together. He's an independent researcher and content creator for activistpost.com. And again, he did a great job. So we'll leave links there because a lot of the research is already done. Spiro did a good job with it. I did a little bit of vetting of his research. Obviously, you got to do a little bit yourself. So I went in there and looked at the PDF document right off the UN.org website. And sure enough, if you scroll down, you can find Jamie Ilian, I believe is the way you pronounce his name. Economist for Peace and Security right there on the list. So there you go. This is a legit project, if you will. That,
not officially from the UN, but officially from UN people.
Yeah, exactly. And these are people. Yeah, and these are folks that are highly involved with the UN. So obviously, I don't think the UN would be too happy unless they wouldn't allow somebody to just run off and use their logo and all that to, put a website together. Although people have pointed out how it's somebody pointed out how it's like a GoDaddy website, so it's not really too high tech.
Right.
But in any case, there you go. A little bit of New World Order stuff, which we have a lot of New World Order news today for some reason.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's just keep that NWO stuff going.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the New World Order. It's here.
Now, Gons, we were some of the, if not the first, at least some of the most enthusiastic people reporting on Libra, which was Facebook's attempt at doing a cryptocurrency. I want to do a quick shout out to Kayla over on YouTube. Thanks for that super chat.
Kayla, thank you. It was a little dancing fox or something.
And again, for our chat compiler, just so everybody knows, when a super chat comes in with a GIF, it just describes the GIF to us. We can't see it. So it says, Kayla, thank you. 2 CAD, C-A-D. What is that? Canadian dollar?
Yes.
Shiba dog raises and lowers his index finger to get noticed.
I thought it was a fox, but I guess I can't tell with the cartoony look.
Shiba dog. Okay, back to the NWO. This is, I'm reading from Forbes here. We're talking about Libra. This says the headline is Facebook changes Calibra to Novi. New digital wallet works on WhatsApp and Messenger. Okay, so Calibra being the sort of subsidiary that Facebook created to build Libra, their cryptocurrency they're famously trying to put out last year, which completely collapsed. They're not quite ready to let Mark Zuckerberg.
It's still going to happen.
Over. I mean the central banks. They're not quite ready to hand over all of their power to Mark Zuckerberg.
Sure.
So here we go. Facebook changes Calibra to Novi. New digital wallet works on WhatsApp and Messenger. Excuse me. I got the burps again, man. Facebook just announced today a rebranding of Calibra Digital Wallet to Novi that offers a new vision to make sending money around the world as easy as sending messages. Novi Financial will provide a new digital wallet where users will be able to access the wallet to send money on Facebook, Messenger, and WhatsApp, as well as in a standalone application. David Marcus, who originally was the head of Calibra and the Libra Association, will serve as head of Novi. He discussed his vision for access to the unbanked and instant transfers of money across the globe. Marcus is also on the board of the Libra Association, a separate entity from Facebook that is headquartered in Switzerland as a nonprofit. As Calibra was designed to support a digital wallet for Libra, Marcus states, quote, "The first product Novi Financial will introduce is the Novi digital wallet designed for Libra, a new payment system which is built on innovative blockchain technology."
Blockchain.
The full name of the new subsidiary is Novi Financial, which is described as operating independently of Facebook with headquarters in Menlo Park, California. According to the blog post, Novi comes from the Latin words novus, new, and via, way. Whoa. New way.
New way.
That
New
is
way,
so
bro.
Jeez, these guys. The vision presented by Novi is a compelling one that captures the dream of many in the cryptocurrency and blockchain industry in supporting the unbanked. Okay, moving on.
I don't know many people in the cryptocurrency world too stoked about anything Facebook is doing, let alone Novi.
Nobody wants you to do this, Facebook. Quote, "There will be no hidden charges to add, send, receive, or withdraw money, and your transfers will arrive instantly," states Marcus on the new digital wallet.
Know why?
You know, like Bitcoin.
Well, no, there's a little bit of a fee. But you know why? It's because there's not going to be any fees because they're going to know all the data of like
They're
what you're
selling the data.
They're selling the data. They're like, hey, we're not going to charge you anything, no fees, but we'll know exactly what you're buying, where you're spending your money, you know, what things you like.
Yes, it's all part of the Facebook data farming business plan. You know, if there's no fees, if something is free, that means you are the product. So keep that in mind, everybody. Well, and thank you for jumping right into that. There you go. So they're boasting that there'll be no, and I like how they call them hidden charges. It's kind of a like as if
admission.
That's yeah. Anyway, so no hidden charges, just the charges that you can see to add, send, and receive or withdraw money. So there you go. Yeah, it's a data farming operation, and not just data farming on like, your political leanings or your sexuality or your, all the info that they already get and sell when you use Facebook Messenger. But now it's every dollar you spend and send, and because it's cryptocurrency, it's complete record of what you do with your money. Now, you might already say, well, I already used my credit card, so it's like already tracked and stuff. Yeah, and that is true, but, cash is king, baby. I'll continue in the article here. Okay. The new way may be inspired. I can't believe they called it that. The new way may be inspired as much as what? The new way may be inspired as much as by the regulatory pressures faced early on as by the desire to recreate what the world considers money. Both Marcus and CEO Mark Zuckerberg faced enormous headwinds from U.S. and international regulators alike when Libra was first announced last year. Both endured congressional hearings last year on Facebook's Libra, as well as negative feedback from both the Secretary of the Treasury and the President of the United States on Libra. Since these hearings, Libra has repositioned its approach away from creating a global currency that many in Congress feared may threaten the U.S. dollar. However, Zuckerberg may have the last laugh, as the positioning of Novi Financial is such that instead of a global stablecoin, Facebook may become the largest global retail bank with its digital wallet integrated among its extremely large user base. Brian Brooks, a former general counsel at Coinbase and now the chief operating officer of the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, crazy, recently described how he envisions a special purpose national bank charter for payments companies such as Stripe and PayPal. Brooks is soon to become the acting comptroller, and his new position may allow him to move his payments charter concept forward. That's the interesting thing. Just to remind everybody, Brian Brooks, he worked at Coinbase, and Coinbase, just for those who don't know, is the most accessible and most popular way to buy cryptocurrency, as well as store it and as well as send it. And now this I mean, really deeply embedded cryptocurrency guy, is one of the most influential, government actors in the financial world. And I mean, there's a lot of people poo-pooing the fact that cryptocurrency, is on a trajectory to become normalized and even sanctioned by governments. And this guy is going to be he's at least the forerunner in making that all a reality.
Yeah, he was a top lawyer at Coinbase too. He wasn't just some guy. He was like the main lawyer.
No, he's general counsel. Yeah, he's the dude.
And he actually helped build the U.S. I think it's called the USDC, the United States Digital Coin, which is a stable coin and pegged 1-to-1 to the dollar, built on the Ethereum blockchain. So, yeah, there you go.
Just to finish out this article, Facebook has pivoted in a way that is quite brilliant and calculated. If it receives a charter from the OCC, its regulation by examiners who similarly examined Bank of America or Wells Fargo, yeah, great job on those ones, could provide a great deal of leverage and power on the world stage in banking to Novi Financial. As Libra has moved away from a basket of cryptocurrencies, countries such as the U.S. may also feel less threatened if the stablecoin is backed 100% by the U.S. dollar. This reduces the fear in Congress that the Federal Reserve, that its form of digital currency could replace the U.S. dollar. For Novi Financial, this could be quite a revenue-producing subsidiary for Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg, as well as providing transformation around the world and how we deal with money on digital terms. If Zuckerberg could be considered the president of big tech, Marcus may have just become the secretary of the stablecoin as head of Novi Financial. So there you go. I mean, I think the biggest point that they make in this article is the positioning that Novi is in. And I think that's the biggest deal. I mean, they somehow, out of all the thousands of cryptocurrencies trying to become, accepted by large user bases, Novi Financial as a financial institution is really positioning itself to, this is it. If it's going to happen soon, that's where it's going to come from.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of talk about the mark of the beast and everything else, but with the vaccines, and certainly that's a concern, and we're going to keep track of that as well. But and we've talked about Bitcoin and things on the channel and everything else, and trying to educate on the difference between decentralization and centralization. There's a lot of opinions out there, but this is why I think it's important to at least know what's going on with the stuff that's not Facebook and Libra and the kind of digital currencies that are just more out in the open for anyone to use, rather than bowing down to another social media company, a big tech company. And I heard somebody saying that Wall Street and Silicon Valley are merging, basically, at this point.
Oh, totally. Well, and that's it's a point that that's been made many times before, that the last great frontier of Silicon Valley is banking.
Right.
They all want to become your bank. Yeah. One of our new followers, we haven't given them a shout out yet, but I'll do it now. Melchizedek's Mustache.
Nice.
New Twitch user. Name. Thank you. I saw them follow us. Oh, I don't know. Must have been day after last show or something. And I've been so excited to give them a shout out. But in the chat, they mentioned Novi backwards is Yvonne, the Norse word for mustache.
Oh,
yeah.
Did not know
that's
that.
That's what he says. I have not checked this, but that's what he says.
That is a zinger.
I'll take his word for it. So there you go.
Does that mean Mark Zuckerberg is going to grow a mustache?
Yup, that's what that means.
That'll be interesting. Okay, we got more New World Order stuff.
He needs to do something to spice it up, man.
I know.
He can't just look like an android forever. Did you see? Somebody put together a side-by-side of Mark Zuckerberg? He posted a picture of himself getting a haircut at his house. And they put it side by side with a picture of Data from Star Trek. And I don't know if he was getting a haircut, but it kind of looked, the same thing.
Well,
it had similar attributes.
Longtime listeners of the show would know that we had a ISO of Data saying, "I am not capable of hatred." And I can't find it at the moment, but that's what we used for Mark Zuckerberg. You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, he is an android. He's
he is an
incapable
android.
of hatred.
Yeah. All right. So this is more New World Order.
Oh, it's the New World Order. It's here.
Space. Wanna go to space?
My gosh, The Guardian has put a giant thing about my privacy, so I cannot read the article. This was, we know about the SpaceX launch that failed today. We'll get to that in a moment, but this article came out a few days before that. TheGuardian.com, the big show, U.S. poised to return to human spaceflight with historic launch. Elon Musk's SpaceX in partnership with NASA, never a straight answer, to launch Falcon 9 rocket from Florida carrying 2 American astronauts. And, because we're somewhat limited on time, I'm not going to go through the whole article, especially because we got to get to the article, the part of the article, or another article talking about SpaceX not doing their launch today because of the weather. But just a real quick summary here. I'll read a couple paragraphs. In a historic moment, a decade in the making, the skies above Florida will light up on Wednesday when the launch of a rocket born from a groundbreaking public-private partnership returns the United States to the business of human spaceflight. And if you're familiar with Joan Vion, the late Joan Vion, she was a believer. She did some very good reporting before she passed away on why public-private partnerships are the backbone of the New World Order and globalism and all that kind of stuff. So,
Interesting.
Dig up some of that stuff from YouTube if you're interested. If you got something that you need to look up or you want to look up. Not since the retirement of NASA's space shuttle fleet in 2011 has the U.S. possessed the capability to send its own astronauts into orbit. And the success of this week's mission, formerly known as SpaceX Demo 2, is likely to shape the direction of the space agency's near-Earth ambitions for a generation. And at 4:33 p.m., a Dragon crew capsule attached to the Falcon 9 rocket is set to take flight. Of course, yada, yada, yada. It didn't work out. But this is the paragraph that I wanted to highlight here. In a symbolic nod to the New World Order, the astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley will ride to the launch pad in an electric car manufactured by Tesla, another of Musk's pioneering companies, foregoing the tin can Astrovan that has been the traditional crew transport since the U.S. began sending humans into space in 1961. What is up with the New World Order? Why do they just keep saying it? It's just like, we know it's been out in the open for a long time, but for some reason they're just really, putting in everyone's faces now.
And why is driving a Tesla part of the New World Order now? I mean, I know it's all green and Tesla-y, and of course Elon is the descendants of, a long line of
occultists.
Occultists, yeah. His mother's name is Light,
right,
et cetera, et cetera. But come on, it's a great car.
Is it?
I have
Do
no
you
idea.
have one?
I have no idea.
I've been in one.
No, I would take one though if one wanted to donate one to the show. My favorite model is the X with the gull wing doors.
He's still working on getting those that truck out, right? That I can't remember what it's called.
The Cybertruck, man.
Cybertruck, that's right. Yeah,
the
it looks
DeLorean
the ridiculous
2.
looking giant
My gosh,
DeLorean on steroids.
I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Yeah. Well, that's the main line there I wanted to point out is a symbolic nod to the New World Order. Okay.
So crazy.
Okay, The Guardian.
Yeah, what?
All right.
A symbolic nod to the New World Order. They took a Tesla to the spaceship.
I don't know. It's just such a weird thing. Okay. So we got even more New World Order space stuff, right? I don't know. Do we? Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the New World Order. It's here.
Space. Wanna go to space?
Want to go to space? Is this me? You want me to take this one?
Sure.
Wired.com.
Oh,
Trump's
wait.
new space.
Wait.
No.
We skipped it. It's the SpaceX. Yeah, I don't know.
I thought that's the one you just said, but I'll do it again. Yeah, just to keep everybody posted, it was canceled. So this article is a little bit less exciting, but
I guess you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, basically they were trying to launch their their first manned spaceship into space with a partner. And when I say they, I'm talking about SpaceX, Tesla and SpaceX. They're partnered with NASA. They were set to launch today, but there was some rain, some tropical storms.
Yeah. There's one more thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Elon was saying how he was so nervous. I read an article.
He has feelings?
So well, he's apparently able to emulate feelings of other human beings. But yeah, he was like, "Oh, I'm so nervous. If anything goes wrong, it's on me."
If yeah, that is true. That must be a little bit of pressure, of course. But just if anything happens to the astronauts,
pretty much his
Neuralace them or Neuralink them or whatever. He's got a backup plan.
I mean, it's a big day. They've been creating basically from scratch a space travel agency, and broken all sorts of records and expanded what we thought we could possibly do by having boosters land safely back on a target and all this kind of stuff. This was going to be the first time that they actually put people up there, but yeah, didn't happen. So if it happens again, we'll let you guys know.
And I was watching some of the live stream, and I did find this interesting. This is Mike Finke on NBC News, and just those of you guys who are familiar with the Skull and Bones organization, this might be a little nod to the future plans for the relaunch of this the whole dragon situation here.
Disappointed. I know their families are a little disappointed, but everybody knows it's for the right thing. And so they're going to wait till a few things happen so they can safely exit the spacecraft. And they're going to go back into quarantine. They'll stay in quarantine and looking for a launch on Saturday around 3:22 p.m. And sometimes it's best just to live to fight another day.
There it is.
Yep, there you go.
3:22 p.m. Why 3:22? Why 4:33 for the regular launch plan, and the backup plan is 3:22?
Because you need the dark spirits to help you.
And the nod to the New World Order. I mean, it's just it's over the top with all the symbolism here. It's I don't know. I have no words. It's just like if you're not getting it by now, come on, folks.
It's in plain sight. And speaking of in plain sight, over there on Twitch, Jeff Bezos RFID chips in stock. He says, "Hello, my slaves. Buy vaccines in stock." Come on, Jeff Bezos. This isn't your selling platform. You got to give us money. We need to get an affiliate program with Jeff Bezos RFID chips in stock if he wants to try to sell his wares.
You want to advertise with us? Give us some of that sweet Amazon money, that $400 billion that you gained during the lockdown or whatever,
yeah,
right?
My gosh.
Didn't they get richer or something? Yeah. Anyway,
Dang, I don't think we have that article in here, but yeah. Anyways, there's just too much.
There's too much going on. Yeah, but there's one more space thing.
Hit us with this last space thing, and then we'll thank some people.
Space. Wanna go to space?
Wired.com, and there's more things trying to get me to accept privacy. Trump's new Space Force missile might be too super duper. That's the actual headline from Wired. It looks like I can't read the article because I am not a member of Wired.com.
Haha, I win. I shall read it.
Okay.
Trump's new Space Force missile might be too super duper. Did you hear that clip of him talking about his super duper missile?
I didn't.
Oh my gosh, we have got to clip the super duper missile quote.
Okay.
All right. Last week, the White House unveiled the flag for the new branch of the U.S. military, the Space Force. But wait, there's more. The president also said the U.S. is developing a new, quote, super duper missile that will be 17 times faster than the ones we have today. I don't know everything there is to know about rockets and missiles, but I do know basic physics. And I'll be honest, this seems crazy. For comparison, among current missiles, the UGM-133 Trident II may be the speediest. It's a submarine-based missile that hits about 8.06 kilometers per second. Yes, that's already insanely fast. That's 18,000 miles per hour.
Wow.
So what if you raise that by a factor of 17? That means a super duper missile will have a velocity of 132 kilometers per second. That's about 400 times the speed of sound, Mach 400. It could travel across the country coast to coast in 30 seconds. Is that even possible? Let's do an estimation to see what it would take. Reality check. No details were offered, but I assume we're talking about a ballistic missile here. Unlike a cruise missile, which is propelled by a jet engine over its entire flight, a ballistic missile uses a rocket engine to reach much higher speeds. But the rocket only burns for a few minutes. After the initial boost phase, it's basically an unpowered projectile, like a bullet, moving in an arc-like trajectory under the influence of gravity. Also, we can safely assume it travels at an altitude where there is very little air. I just don't think anything can go 137 kilometers per second in the atmosphere. The air drag forces would be too great. If you look at the missiles that clearly only travel in the atmosphere, the MIM-104 Patriot is the fastest with a speed of Mach 5. So if we want a super duper fast missile, it's going to have to be in space. Ooh. Actually, we really only need two things to model this new fast missile. The first is a better name. I'm not going to keep calling it the super duper missile. That's silly. See, I disagree with the author on this point here. I think super duper missile is the only thing that makes sense in today's world. Moving on. Instead, inspired by the Trident II, I'm going to call it the Zoom Spear 1.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, what
That's
a funny
so much
guy.
better.
Zoom Spear. Sorry, I think that's so funny. Second, we need a mass. This is tougher than the name because most of the mass of a missile is in the fuel. If you want a missile to go faster, you need more fuel, which will increase the mass. On most rockets, the payload is just 2 to 5% of the total mass of the vehicle. That's called the payload fraction. We're learning some math here today, Gons. Let's say the Trident II has a mass of 59,000 kilograms with a payload fraction of 5%. That puts the payload at about 3,000 kilograms. That might be high, but just stick with me. I don't know. Do we want to go through this guy's whole math
we don't
thing?
have to.
I don't think so either. Yeah. But there you go. Long story short, we got a super duper missile and we got the Space Force logo that came out.
Yeah,
and it looks kind of familiar, Gonzo.
Yeah, pretty Star Trek-y.
It looks almost exactly like the Star Trek logo.
Yeah, could have done a little bit more, a little more creative with that.
No. No. This is perfect. How silly would it be for them to try to make up a new Space Force logo when, Gene Roddenberry, also infamous occultist, had the perfect idea for it, back in the 60s or whenever he made the first Star Trek.
And for those who don't know, he was one of the people that was with Uri Geller with the Council of Nine, channeling the Ennead, the 9 gods of Egypt that were allegedly communicating with them. But one of the things I wanted to point out, just
so when I say infamous occultist, I don't mean like, I don't know, he covered one eye once.
Right, or, in a photo or something. Yeah. No, he was channeling spirits, gods of Egypt.
Full on trying to channel the gods of Egypt.
Yeah. I do want to point this scripture out just because I always love pointing this out. This was pointed out to me by the late Chuck Missler, who I know a lot of people love studying from. Jeremiah 50, when it talks about the prophecies against Babylon, there's a passage there about verse 9. For behold, I stir up and bring against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the land of the north. They will line up against her from the north. She will be captured. Their arrows will their arrows will be like skilled warriors who do not return empty-handed. And I always love bringing this up because Chuck Missler pointed out how, back in the day, arrows were very, they missed a lot. But they're talking about arrows that are like skilled warriors. They don't return empty-handed. They never miss. They always hit their targets. And he connected it or likened it to the modern rocketry, or perhaps a super duper missile. Yeah. So there you go.
Zoom Spear 1.
Zoom Spear 1. Good job, guy. Author.
While we're on the topic of Star Trek, I've been watching. It's part of my job to keep up with all the streamable content out there. I do this for you. I've been watching Picard.
Is that
I've been watching Picard.
Is that a documentary or something?
No, it's the new Star Trek series reboot.
It's called Picard.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's Picard in his old age, sort of going on new adventures. That's fun. And there's so much to say about this, but long story short, the entire series revolves around what they call synthetic life, which we would call, AI or something like that. It's all revolves around synthetic life, and the bad guys think synthetic life is bad and is going to bring on the apocalypse.
Oh,
and the good guys, Picard, thinks that synthetic life forms are just as good as humans and are better than humans and have a right to live, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Wow, so they're just straight up making
straight up
making us the bad guys.
Guns.
We're the bad guys. We're the villains of Picard, basically.
If you
is what you're
don't like
saying.
Flippy, you don't like Picard.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy-handed. And I see some people talking about it in the chat. Oh, that's cool. Personally, some of the acting's falls a little flat, and it's much like the old Star Treks in that it's pretty corny. But they did a good job with it. But yeah, I'm constantly offended by Jean-Luc Picard and his love for synthetic life.
Okay.
I would be a Romulan, Gons.
Oh, those horrible Romulans always trying to bring about the apocalypse.
That's right. And with that, Gons, let's take a quick break and give some shout outs. What do you think?
Sounds good. Give me some names.
Okay. Get your trigger finger ready on that ding button. I'm going to try to speed through these because we've got a bunch of new followers, and I want to make sure everybody gets their shout outs. If you're actually watching in the chat, say you're here and it's your first time or second time or whatever. Throw it in there, and I'll try to I want to give shout outs to the people who actually made it here for the first time. We got in the chat, Garibaldi Chatbot.
Ooh, chatbots are cool.
Yeah. I see. Interesting. Eyes to see. Thanks, Eyes to see. This one's good. R.I.P. Epstein, a.k.a. Okay. R.I.P. Epstein, a.k.a. Lil Mossad.
That's a good one. I like that. Nice.
Hello, Frodo. Hello, Frodo. Sigra the Beast. Sigra the Beast.
Okay.
Allie Girl. What's up, Allie Girl?
Allie Girl. Hopefully it's a girl. Which, by the way, I do have something to bring up when you're done with the names here. It's a Twitch-related topic.
Always.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Dreercher 123.
Dreercher.
Birdhouse Soul. Birdhouse Soul.
Birdhouse Soul.
Sabbath Keeper.
Nice.
Sabbath Keeper. Larson Victoria. Hey, Larson Victoria. Oh, come on. Big Balls 80. 80.
I love that they're forcing you to say stuff you do not want to say. It's hilarious.
I was trying to figure out a way that I could mispronounce that, but my mind wasn't moving quick enough, so I apologize.
Well, there's the AC/DC song about, the ball, the big ball,
Oh, yeah.
I like big balls. You like. It's talking about the big dance.
Next,
what are you thinking?
We had Dark Chocolate. Thanks, Dark Chocolate, for following. Wooden Nickel. Vitrovane. X Sounds. The People Hunter.
The People Hunter.
Tonzi. What part of this is we're actually starting to draw regular Twitch people who just find our show now. But I will say there's some more people to give a call out. We'll give some more call outs later in the show. And Melchizedek's mustache, of course. Hi, you're here. I appreciate you. But you know what I love about the Twitch Gons is people are coming in, they're creating accounts, and they're making usernames that are sort of specific to the show. Of course, we've got Jeff Bezos RFID chips in stock. We've got we've got the real Elon Musk. We've got Elon Musk the hologram, or Elon Musk's hologram. Who
we
else
had Bill
do we
Gates.
have? Yeah, Bill Gates is there. We got Susan
Wojcicki, yeah.
Yeah, all of our favorites. The four. Zuckerberg has not joined yet, but I'm sure he'll make it soon. And they've done this for a while, and we haven't mentioned it, but there's like a whole layer of role playing that happens in the Twitch chat.
Yeah, that is, yeah. We haven't brought it up. You're right, but yes, the people that take on the people that come up with these names in Twitch certainly are in there. It's kind of like being at Disneyland, you know, and the characters are walking around and they walk up to you, and you can't tell if they're acting.
You got to
or
keep the magic alive.
They're really
Jeff
recruiting
Bezos, RFID chips in stock, is always trying to sell RFID chips,
sell vaccines, and
yeah. Flippy official, of course. Flippy's in there.
Nice.
Our resident. Disembodied arm.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a really fun gang in there. So if you're listening to the show and you have not yet followed us on Twitch, I just want to remind you that following us on Twitch actually helps us out a ton. We are so close to hitting our goals to unlock some really fun tools and experiences that we can do through Twitch. For example, we can set it up so that listeners can actually play jingles on the show, which is super fun. Something I'm looking forward to working in there. But we have to get our average viewership up, and I see today that our Twitch users are being very active in trying to evangelize the YouTube viewers to come join the Twitch channel. And I support them in that because I think it's more fun to watch the show over on Twitch. And soon it's going to be even more fun. And we've only got a couple more shows until hopefully we hit that partner status, and that'll be very fun. So keep doing that. So here's anything you want to talk about?
Yeah. So here's my concern. Okay, so there's an article that came out.
Rankings. Yeah, check our rankings on Twitch while we're talking.
I made a little video about it on the Face Like the Sun YouTube channel. RT.com. The headline here is, "Oh dear, Twitch proves itself a joke after giving trans species female a spot on its safety advisory council." And just for everyone,
right there.
Okay, yeah.
I had tons of people sending this to me.
Yeah.
Yes. So Twitch had sort of a user base speak into what, policy and things like that. They don't actually work for Twitch or anything like that. They don't have any real power. They're just people that Twitch would talk to into how to make their platform better. And yes, there was a transgendered, trans species streamer who identifies as a deer.
Yeah.
And which, you know what, whatever, there's a lot of ways to live apparently. But they kind of the power went to their head really quickly and made a whole bunch of comments about how they're the most powerful person in the world and how, of course, racists and non-liberals and things like that should all beware.
I think
she's coming for them.
I'm going to say she, even though I think anyway. Said that most gamers are white supremacists. Is that? I don't even know how they came up with that. Is that in like the?
It's delusional. Is how they came up with that. Okay. It's just
I'm
not true.
I'm glad you're going straight to the reality of the situation.
They went nuts.
Here.
So, anyways, long story short, they have been reprimanded by Twitch, and I believe that they are off the. If they are not off it, they have been severely reprimanded and issued a formal apology. So don't worry, everybody. The deer lady won't get us. I don't think.
The most common comment I got was, "Is it deer hunting season yet?"
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You can't make threats like that. But I will say I'm happy to say we are number 6 on the Twitch talk shows and podcasts list right now.
All right. Good stuff.
So there we go. We're getting up there. Let's get some more people over at twitch.tv/Canary Cry Radio. That's twitch.tv/Canary Cry Radio. Make a fun name. You know, when you make your account, make sure to pick a name that, you got to pick a character from the show. You know, that's what the real fans do.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg is still available. There's all sorts of characters still available. And we're at number 6 right now. So let's try to get that up. Hey, some YouTube people, head on over to twitch.tv/Canary Cry Radio. Let's see if we can move up the rankings.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's all we have. We'll do supporters later in the show, guys.
Yep, we'll do that. And moving on here, this is a quick story that I wanted you to do, Basil. It's regarding
blockchain.
And again, why it's important to educate yourself on these issues.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is great. I heard about this. This is from foxbusiness.com, and the article is titled "Teen Dubbed Baby Al Capone."
I know. I kept reading it AI too, but it's AI, Al Capone. Yeah.
Baby Al Capone stole $23.8 million from cryptocurrency bigwig, lawsuit. Subtitle, lawsuit.
It's a lot of money.
Reads, I know. How old is he? 15 or something?
15 when he started, yeah.
A teenager at the center of a multi-million-dollar cryptocurrency scheme kept his alleged criminal habits under wraps to classmates and even family, as they assumed he was just a gamer who hit the jackpot with Bitcoin, according to court papers and a New York Post report. Oh, man. That's the dream. I wish I was just a gamer who hit the jackpot with Bitcoin. Ellis Pinsky was 15 when he allegedly began his scheme, through which he has stolen more than $100 million in cryptocurrency as the ringleader of what a federal lawsuit calls a sophisticated cybercrime spree, court papers show. But the teen's habits and mysterious wealth apparently never raised alarm bells at his high school or even at home in Westchester County. Quote, his best friend thought he was making money through trading Bitcoin and stock, an insider told the Post, under the condition of anonymity, later adding, quote, I think he told his parents that he made Bitcoin online through video games and got lucky. But Pinsky could only stay out of the spotlight for so long. Cryptocurrency bigwig Michael Turpin sued Pinsky, now 18, and several other unidentified people on May 7th, alleging the teenager built $23,808,125 from him and stole tens of millions from others who are not named in the complaint, court papers show. Quote, on the surface, Pinsky is an all-American boy, the son of privilege. He is active in extracurricular activities and lives a suburban life with a doting mother who is a prominent doctor, the lawsuit states. Despite their wholesome appearances, Pinsky and his other cohorts are in fact evil computer geniuses with sociopathic traits who heartlessly ruin their innocent victims' lives and gleefully boast of their multi-million-dollar heists.
Wow.
You can send me an email at basil.rosewater@gmail.com for any voice work you're looking for. Turpin is seeking treble damages, 3 times the amount of the actual money lost, or more than $71 million, in addition to attorney fees and related costs. Quote, these are crypto gangsters, Turpin told the outlet, adding that his nickname for Pinsky is Baby Al Capone. Pinsky's attorney, Noam Biale, emphasized to the Post that he was just a kid at the time. Quote, it is deeply unfortunate that Mr. Turpin has chosen to bring a lawsuit full of smears and baseless allegations for no imaginable purpose other than spite. Well, I mean, $23 million.
It's a lot of money to just,
Maybe spite's in there too, but also 23 mil. Bial did not immediately respond to Fox Business's request seeking comment. Pinsky and his accomplices, the lawsuit alleges, hacked into victims' computers and their cryptocurrency accounts and stole the holdings, which they then laundered. In some cases, they would also allegedly steal personal information to get access to the accounts. Quote, look at Ellis's life, and there is no reason for him to do what he did, the insider told the Post. Quote, he's a standout kid with a dark side. Ooh, bad boy. The lawsuit describes how Pinsky's text messages paint a picture of a wannabe master of the universe who thought himself invincible and boasted about his wealth. Quote, I'm well off. I'm good. I don't need extra money. I'm set for life, he allegedly wrote to one person. Okay. Wow.
Good research.
Groundbreaking reporting.
Good research, Fox Business.
He allegedly spent millions on pricey watches and nights out at New York City clubs and was, quote, constantly reaching out for the support of equally callous offenders who think nothing of stealing millions from their victims to live a life of conspicuous consumption, the lawsuit states. The foundation in Pinsky's scheme began to crack after an accomplice, Nicholas Truglia, was busted following a separate cryptocurrency theft from 2018, according to the suit. Truglia, whom Turpin sued separately, ultimately identified Pinsky and a number of people, quote, as his confederates in cryptocurrency thefts. Ooh, he snitched. We got a snitch.
Good
Crypto
snitch. Crypto snitch. Crypto snitch and crypto gangsters.
Yeah, Truglia, court papers allege, quote, described Pinsky's integral role in the theft of Turpin's funds. Quote, along with other highly incriminating evidence, Truglia's detailed account of Pinsky's penetration of plaintiff's accounts and how he unlocked the unique secret to the passcodes for his crypto wallets conclusively demonstrates that Pinsky was one of the hackers. Court papers further show no law enforcement charges have been filed against Pinsky. Run! Run, baby Al Capone! Get out of here!
Get out of New York. Yeah, so one of the things, couple reasons why you should educate yourself on some of the crypto stuff. One, so you don't get scammed out, because it doesn't really say or specify how he was able to do it, but I'm sure it was some kind of phishing or some way to get people to give up their private keys, which I'm guilty of. I had to learn the hard way. And lost a little bit of crypto a couple years ago, 3 years ago now. It's been a long time.
Have you ever talked about that?
I think, yeah. I've made it public. The other thing is, if you have kids, especially if they're teenagers, and they start acting like everything's good, I just hit the jackpot with some Bitcoin, might want to check out what they're up to. You know, might want to.
But they may also have hit. Well, there's no jackpots to be made on Bitcoin
Not
at
exactly
this exact
Bitcoin,
moment.
But if you, and that's the thing, is that if whoever controls the keys to your wallet basically controls the money. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. It's just one of those things where, as a parent, I want to know too. I'm guessing it's some kind of phishing. That's the only way I can really. Because otherwise, how would you, it was talking about
I don't
how
know. It said he had some method for
accessing passwords and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And personal information. So maybe he
the unique secret to the passcodes.
Yeah. See, that sounds like Fox Business not knowing how cryptocurrencies work, doesn't it? Like,
yeah. Now that I read it out loud again.
Yeah,
plaintiff's accounts and how he unlocked the unique secret to the passcodes.
He had some phishing scam.
What do you mean the unique secret to the passcodes? What does that even mean? Like, what does that actually say?
I don't know.
Nothing.
It doesn't say. That's what I'm saying. I don't think the author here knows exactly how crypto works either, and that's why the methodology of how this happened isn't really quite clearly described. And that's why if you have kids, especially if they're teenagers, and if they're messing around with crypto or whatever, you might want to at least educate so you can say, hey, show me the wallets, show me the keys.
You should have your kids' keys anyways.
That's true.
I mean, your kids' basic. I mean, look, sorry, kids. I'm sorry, but I am an adult now and I have to be responsible. Just be honest about the crypto with your parents. You have a secret bank account right now, and there's
if you have any amount,
there's no accountability. It's dangerous. Just be cool. Just let your parents know about your crypto wallets.
Yeah, and get a Celsius. Download the Celsius network app, and then you got to get KYC'd. So there you go. And catch people. Okay.
But I just want to give a heads up, Gons.
Yeah.
At most we probably only have about a half hour.
Okay.
So we might need to kind of pick and choose from our remaining articles here.
Okay, yeah, this one I definitely want to do. We're going to get into some Chinese news.
Welcome to Chinese News!
And greatest source ever, USSAnews.com. Credible. YouTube gets caught auto-censoring criticism of Chinese Communist Party, claims it was accidental.
Yeah.
Yeah. After users highlighted YouTube's automatic censorship of certain phrases critical of the Chinese Communist Party, the tech company admitted the issue was real but said it was an accident, according to The Verge. What's the issue? YouTube's automatic comment moderation filters were deleting some Chinese phrases that are derogatory towards the CCP, regardless of the context in which they were used. From The Verge, comment left under the videos or in live stream that contain the word communist, bandit, 50 Cent Party are automatically deleted in around 15 seconds, though their English language translations and Romanized pinyin equivalents are not. The term communist bandit is an insult that dates back to China's nationalist government, while 50 Cent Party, or Wu Mao, is a derogatory slang term for internet users paid to direct online discussion away from criticism of the CCP. The name comes from claims that such commentators are paid 50 Chinese cents per post. The deletions were most recently highlighted by Palmer Luckey, the founder of Oculus, but The Verge found that the problem has existed and been brought to YouTube's attention dating back to at least October 2019 through comments on the site's official help page. Quote, YouTube has deleted every comment I ever made about the Wu Mao and internet propaganda division of the Chinese Communist Party, Lucky wrote on Twitter on Monday. Who at Google decided to censor American comments on American videos hosted in America by an American platform that is already banned in China? What does YouTube have to say about it? Without explaining how or why this became a rule in the moderation system, YouTube simply called it an error and said it was looking into it further. Quote, this appears to be an error in our enforcement systems and we are investigating. Bleep blop. A YouTube spokesperson told The Verge in a statement, Susan Wojcicki, what do you have to say for yourself? She's not, I don't know if she's here today, but if she is, on the Twitch comments there, let us know what was going on there with your supporting the Chinese Communist Party on your behalf.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
Well,
little censorship.
This isn't surprising at all. Of course, YouTube being owned by Google now, and Google notoriously working with the Chinese government to censor the internet and develop weaponized artificial intelligence, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Google does not care about anybody, but also especially the Chinese citizens. Yeah.
The other thing to mention here is that I think it said the CEO or the founder of Oculus is the guy who's like calling him out, and that's another wrinkle to this whole thing. Well, first off, isn't that an Oculus on your head, Basil?
Yeah, this is my good. Well, I mean, there is a lot of things on my head right now, but one of them is an Oculus.
Okay. So just saying that, it's an interesting thing there where, we're always sort of keeping an eye on the VR industry as a whole and how they're contributing to the whole New World Order system. And here we have them kind of calling out YouTube and going against the Chinese Communist Party. And so it's almost like the lesser of two evils. With any one of these stories now, it's starting to become like, hey, would you rather support the Chinese Communist Party or the people that are going to eventually plug wires into your brain?
I know. It's crazy. And they're pretty much one and the same. If they're not now, they will be. Speaking of VR updates, Gons, just to keep everybody posted on what's going on those streaming services, there's a show called The Feed.
The Feed, okay.
Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay. The Feed. And basically, the entire premise of the show is, what is it called? Remember the empathy box we were talking about?
Yeah.
From Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, later on adapted into Blade Runner.
Right.
There was basically the religion of that world was oh man, I don't know the exact name of it. I'll have to look it up. It's been a while since I've read it, but basically the religious experience was you interact with what's called an empathy box, and it basically puts you in the mind and the point of view of somebody else in the world, and it just kind of helps you build empathy for your fellow man, yeah, and obviously runs into all sorts of problems. But The Feed, it's on Amazon Prime. It's an entire show about, everybody has these implants in their heads, little cranial computers, and you're able to, all of everything you see out of your eyes, all your memories and everything are stored in the cloud, and you can sort of like browse through other people's memories and just experience them. And of course, things go awry when people start having violent tendencies after getting these implants.
Yeah.
But also, basically another show completely lifted from what we've been talking about for 12 years. 12.
Still
10,
waiting for those
8,
Illuminati
8.
checks.
I know. I know for a fact we have some Hollywood people who listen to the show, and they have yet to call me and offer me that big deal, man. Hollywood, call us. This will give you what the people want, man.
Sell out
consulting. We could consult for these shows.
Yeah, it might go to our head. You might start claiming to be a monkey or something.
Don't know how that's relevant.
Some kind of animal.
The Thunder Cunder asks, "What's the show called?" It's called The Feed.
The Feed.
The Feed. Yeah. So another one to check out. I'm also working my way through Upload, which of course is I've talked about before, so I won't go into here. But there you go. We got Picard and we got The Feed, both fine quality sci-fi shows, but also villainizing you and me, Guns.
Awesome. We're the bad guys.
We're the bad guys.
I just want to show this clip for the viewers. And of course, this is a tweet in Japanese, so people may not realize it. But they're showing some footage, I believe, of China, and it's a crowd of people walking down the steps, and every single face is being tracked.
Yeah,
and
some are labeled VIPs.
Right. You got
some
VIP,
are labeled watch list,
under protection, staff. So it's kind of creepy when you see it in this manner of how facial recognition can pick up on people. And, I think it's really funny. There's one guy looks, white. I think he is white, walking amongst a crowd of Asians, and his face is clearly, called out and says, watch list. So the racists over there too in the Chinese party,
a lot of things
party.
happening over there. Some more protests, all sorts of stuff. The Hong Kong issue has not been settled.
Yeah, do you want to cover that real quick?
Well, real quick, let me just mention, speaking of this facial recognition thing, I do some charity work, and I was in the back. I was doing some pickups from a major retailer, and they had their little COVID booth set up that all the people who come in through the back have to get their COVID temperature taken, and they have this really high-tech setup that scans your face and takes your temperature and does a whole thing. So somehow it was able to scan me with my sunglasses and my mask on. So it's getting pretty fancy.
Wow.
One thing to note, Gons, in this video that you showed, nobody's wearing a mask.
Yeah, it could be from prior to everything. I mean, I don't know when this footage is from, but it certainly is. It's interesting because in Japan right now, especially, and I know this because my parents are Japanese and they're telling me, they started watching YouTube videos and like there's all these YouTube truthers in Japan. It's very, very fascinating. They talk about the deep state and that's where we got the Wakushin thing, But they're really speaking out against China and their just totalitarian system that they got going on there. So even in other countries, that are, I mean, Japan's not super duper free. Very interesting
Japan's
thing.
okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
They rank okay on the scale.
Yeah.
Hey, we are coming up on 5 o'clock here, Gone. So let's give some supporter shout outs, and I'll shoot a couple more Twitch viewers some shout outs, and then we'll do a few and call it a night. What do you say?
You want to do the shout outs now, or do you want to skip like 3 or 4 of the articles here?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna let you choose which of those articles are the most important. So maybe pick like 2, 3 or 4 of them.
Okay.
And I'm gonna head over. Put your finger on the dinger there.
Okay.
And let's ding some people.
Let's
some new followers. Here we go.
People.
Open it up. We have a brand new followers. We got Maxerd.
Maxerd.
Thank you for being here. We also got Twitch the Canary.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Twitch the Canary. We got Electric AI or Electric Al. I can't really tell. It might be Electric Al. Intrepid Pace.
Intrepid Pace. Nice.
Tiny Blohino.
Tiny
Blohino. We got some of these are hard to read. Paladin 1 DCS. We got Bossman Bobbert. I saw Bossman Bobbert in the chat today. What's up, buddy? Let's see here. Oh man, I can't remember which ones of these we've already done or not, but I'll just do a couple more. TX, I'll say maybe Texas Believer, soon a lever.
Oops, sorry, a little early on the ding there, but
Texas Believer, soon a lever.
There you go.
That's a good one. Bad Influence.
Ooh, I don't know if I like that. I like that name.
Ruckus Among Us.
Ruckus Among Us.
And Bill and Melinda.
Bill and Melinda.
Yeah,
I got clones.
Bill and Melinda. We get the PayPal people all set up. And I just want to remind everybody that we are a value for value proposition here. What we put out, we do for free. It's always been free. It always will be free. And not just free in the sort of monetary sense, but free in the philosophical sense. Like I've said before, if you're not paying for something, usually you are the product. And that's the same with podcasts and a lot of other content on the internet. And that's done through, you are turned into a product through a little thing we call advertising. And Gons, you and I have made a decision not to do advertising. We did that a long time ago, which just happened to maybe have been the worst business decision we've ever made. But instead of earning your trust and attention and then selling that trust and attention to a corporation for our own monetary gain, we do the shows, we put them out there, and if you get value out of what we do, it's now your opportunity to put some value back in. And it's really simple. You just help us out with whatever the show is worth to you. If it's worth $5 a month, that's great. If it's worth $50 a month, that's great also. And, if it's worth nothing, then, nothing comes in. But thankfully, here's a few people who decided that we were worth something, Gons. Hey. Over here on patreon.com/CCNT. We got a pledge by Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Very much, Mike. And we got a pledge by Dust.
Ooh, Dust.
Yeah, Dust. When was the last show? A week ago would have been the 20th.
20th, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got an upgraded pledge by Sarah.
All right, Sarah. Thank you. Doubling up.
And a pledge by Annika.
Annika.
Or Annika?
Yeah, it's Annika.
There you go. Those are our new and upgrading Patreon supporters. We love the new supporters, and we love the upgrading supporters. It's hard enough to get somebody to pledge to support the show. It's even harder to get somebody to increase their pledge. So thank you very much, Sarah. That means a lot.
You actually forgot Jan, who also 1.25x'd her support. Or 2.25.
We did.
I can't do math.
we did give Jan a shout out on the last show, but she deserves another one. So thanks, Jan.
It's just
again.
a big supporter, you know.
We
Big
just
time
thank
supporter.
Jan so much. We love Jan.
Yeah. And then on PayPal, if you don't want to support us through Patreon, you can do that. There's been longtime supporters there. We really appreciate it on the Canary Cry Radio PayPal. And just want to give a few shout outs. Sarah, thank you for your recurring support. Jacob, Natalie, Lance, and let's see, Joshua. I think he's a longtime supporter, but hey, give you a shout out anyway. Thank you, Joshua.
Thanks, Joshua.
And we also got one from Rachel, Rosalie.
Whoa, these are all new?
I think so.
I don't think so. I didn't see all these new ones.
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe these are recurring, but it's okay.
Yeah,
hey, whatever.
You gotta go by the email, man.
I know. We gotta figure things out. Rosalie, thank you, Rosalie. And Kathleen. I'm gonna go ahead and just finish this out.
Okay, these are not new supporters.
There's only two more. Just relax. Relax over there. George or Jorge, I don't know. George. Thank you, George. And one more. Can you handle it, Basil?
No. Can't
handle it?
Go.
Arwen. Thank you, Arwen.
Thanks, Arwen.
Appreciate
Thanks, Arwen. And I'm not trying to not give people shout outs. I'm just saying we get so much flack already for talking about, supporting our families that, I just don't want to extend it. I don't want to extend the issues if people are going to yell at us for trying to feed our families and our cats. And
we'll probably do something fun.
Sky Scourge Broadcasting says, "Sorry guys, it's you or cigarettes." Well, I don't know how I feel about that, Sky Scourge. I think it's better for everybody if your cigarette money comes to us, but that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay. You do what you got to do, man.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay.
But if you do choose to choose us, then your lungs will be thankful, and children are fed.
And so will the babies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's it for new supporters, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, people. Thank you, people out there. We are your essential employees. We got nothing else going on, man. This is the show. This is what we got, and we do it for you. And those of you who get value out of the show and return value back in, thank you so much. You are what keeps the show going. You are technically producers of the show. So thank you very much. Also, if financially supporting the show is not a thing that you can do, which we totally understand, Sky Scourge, I get it, man. You can support the show in other ways, and those ways look like this. You can leave us a rating and a review on whatever podcast player you use, or give thumbs up on a YouTube, or share an episode. That's a big one. If you got people in your life who would be into the show, or are trying to wake an episode they might like, and just send it out. Post links to shows on your Twitter or your Facebook or things like that. That's always great. And if you are one of those fancy people who knows their way around a sound editing software, you can make us some jingles. We had a bunch of jingles come in after the last show, which we are very happy about. And that also technically makes you a producer of the show. So go ahead and make us some jingles. If there's something on the show, if there's a topic you want to make a jingle for, or a person, we could make some individual jingles for Elon and Mark and all our favorites. Go ahead and just go for it and send us those jingles at canarycryradio@gmail.com. You guys are the best. Am I forgetting anything, Gons?
I don't think so. Let's try to get through some of this stuff.
Okay.
Hold on one second.
Yep. Got time for a couple more, so pick your favorites.
Yeah. So let me real quick. Let's just mention the Hong Kong thing. I won't go through the article, but basically Hong Kong is being attacked by the Chinese communist group there, and there's a lot of protests and stuff going on. And Reuters was reporting that Trump says U.S. to take action on China over Hong Kong this week, and hopefully he doesn't have to use his super duper missiles against China there. But it's a possibility. Just
you
to
got
let
another
you know.
one of these fire and fury threats type of things.
Yeah, it never ends with the China. But also, we're gonna get into some COVID stuff to wrap it up here.
COVID.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Sky Scorch, who says, "All right, already, I'll quit. Fine. I hope you're happy." I am happy. Sky
That's awesome.
Scorch.
You get a laser too for that one. It's an awesome thing. This one I'm going to go by real quick because, again, it's pretty self-explanatory with the headline there. Wired.com, don't be fooled by COVID-19 contact tracing scams. Fraudsters have found yet another way to take advantage of the pandemic. So don't get scammed by people trying to do the contact tracing. But also, Los Angeles Times lost your job.
States and municipalities across the country are high.
Don't want your analysis. CBSNews.com. Lost your job. Consider becoming a contact tracer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is one of those... it's one of those I tried to tell you moments, you know?
It's the snitches, man. We talked about this a couple episodes ago, but if you lost your job, you now can become a professional snitch.
Yeah. The last one I want to do for me, from my end, on the COVID-19 stuff is concerning the vaccine. Vaccine. And that's vaccine is the Japanese... what's the word I'm looking for? Not translation. Pronunciation, yeah, of the word vaccine.
Vaccine.
MSN.com, coronavirus. AstraZeneca says it can deliver millions of doses of potential Oxford vaccine by September. And, I'll read this briefly here. A pharmaceutical company says it has secured orders for at least 400 million doses of an unproven COVID-19 vaccine that it will start delivering this year. 400 million. It's more than every American.
That's too many.
That's a lot. AstraZeneca announced on Thursday that it had, quote, concluded the first agreements to make the University of Oxford's potential coronavirus vaccine. The British-Swedish drug-making giant said earlier this week it had secured manufacturing capacity for 1 billion doses so far and will begin deliveries in September 2020. That's a lot of doses, 1 billion, for something that is an what was the word that they used? Why can't I find the word? Unproven vaccine. But let's roll out 1 billion. And I actually did a little study there because I was looking at the AstraZeneca. I thought, Astra, that sounds kind of familiar. What is that from? And it's actually a weapon in Hinduism. And Astra in Sanskrit was a supernatural weapon presided over by a specific deity and imbued with spiritual or occult power that has caused its effect or impact. Later, the word came to denote any weapon which was used by releasing it from one's hand. An arrow compared to keeping it in one's hand. So there you go. The Astra is a supernatural weapon in Sanskrit. And, I couldn't find anything really to connect it to Zeneca, which is the second half of the name of the company, AstraZeneca. The only thing I can find is that some British company came up with the name Zeneca. There was a company that comes up with business names, and they came up with Zeneca. And the closest word I can think of is zenith, maybe. Talking about
could be
the
a
height
reference
of power.
to Seneca.
Or Seneca, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. That's that's my little report there on the vaccine.
Vaccine. We got to keep an eye on the vaccines.
Yep. What you got, Basil? Which one do you want to do?
I don't know.
You want to bring up some Soros?
Soros? That's pretty interesting. Let's do this. A little COVID. It's been a while since we've heard anything from or about Soros. So
he's always working, though, with all his investments
there. He's always on his hustle, man. RT.com. Soros says EU may not survive unless it props up sick man of Europe, Italy. Billionaire financier George Soros was warned that the preservation of the European Union is dependent upon the economic health of Italy and other states hit hard by coronavirus, adding that the current aid policies favor Germany. Always. The EU, otherwise known as the New German Empire. The Hungarian-American philanthropist argued that the bloc must issue perpetual bonds in order to raise money for to support countries that have suffered the most from COVID-19, singling out Italy as particularly vulnerable. In a transcript of a question and answer session distributed to the media, Soros also railed against the reluctance of better-off member states to work together to provide financial assistance for the bloc's most at-risk states. Quote, the relaxation of state aid rules which favor Germany has been particularly unfair to Italy, which was already the sick man of Europe and then the hardest hit by COVID-19. Soros, who gained notoriety and infamy in Europe after becoming a vocal proponent of the bloc's open door migrant policy, said that if action isn't taken now, the EU, quote, may not be able to survive the challenges it currently confronts. He insisted that his somber assessment was not just a theoretical possibility, but it may actually become the tragic reality. The billionaire's call to arms comes just one day after the European Commission approved a €9 billion umbrella scheme proposed by Rome to support the Italian economy. Although European states are slowly easing lockdown measures, there are growing fears that the economic consequences of paralyzing most commerce will have far-reaching long-term effects. No kidding. Judging by Soros's own pronouncements, the financier seems to view the deep economic crisis as a clear opportunity. Quote, we will not go back to where we were when the pandemic started, Soros told Project Syndicate. Everything else is up for grabs. I do not think anyone knows how capitalism will evolve. It's called capitalism. Soros, somebody needs to let him know that. The pandemic has revealed deep cracks in the bloc, with European states adopting a free-for-all attitude as COVID-19 swept across the continent. The lack of unity even compelled EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen to apologize to Italy after Brussels ignored the country's pleas for aid. Wow, they're really just leaving Italy in the dust there, man.
Well, the Vatican.
Yeah.
The Pope.
Yeah, the Vatican.
The Vatican. That's what I say.
Space Pope reptilian.
They got the reptilian there. They're fine.
Yeah, we need to hear from some more European listeners. I know there's a bunch of you who, if you don't tune in live because of the timing issues, but you listen to the podcast, let us know. That not a lot of people are huge fans of the EU over there.
No.
It really does almost exclusively favor Germany.
Yeah.
And, it's a very strange thing. Of course, you know what I haven't heard about recently was Brexit. What's going on with Brexit?
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
By the way, just to tie it back to the beginning of the show with your workout regime, you are defying the Soros mandate and the Soros prediction, because there's a story that came out back in March that Soros went in big on this company called Peloton, which is an indoor cycling, like indoor cycling station type of product. And so he knew that everyone's going to be sitting at home in the quarantine back when, and he invested early on in these home exercise machines. So there you go. Good job, Basil.
Were you aware of all the Peloton hubbub? Man, it seems so quaint and innocent now. This was back late 2019.
I remember hearing stuff, yeah.
Do you remember it? Did you
I don't
see
remember
the
the
ad?
exact. No, I don't remember the exact thing, but I remember people talking about Peloton. So what was it?
Yeah. They made a commercial where it was basically a husband gave his wife an exercise bike.
Oh.
And, she was striving to be in perfect shape for her husband.
Oh, wow.
Which the feminists, of course, were not a fan of. It was a bad commercial overall, but they got a lot of heat for that one.
They had to spend that Soros money for, I'm sure he was like, make a commercial,
I don't see what the problem is.
Sell to wife. Yeah. So
yeah.
there you
All
go.
right. Well, Guns, I know that the most exciting part of the show everybody is waiting for. Are you ready for the Nephilim update?
I kind of am. Yes.
Okay.
Nephilim update. Nephilim update. Nephilim update.
Real quick before we go into that, there was a story out on mynorthwest.com. Rants, gunshot victim counted as Washington coronavirus death. So they're admitting to some of that now. But the Nephilim update here, this is from Variety.com. This is a real brief one, so this is good. San Sebastian Festival powers up new WIP Latam bows WIP Europa streamlines. I have no idea what that means. But in the article, it mentions a company, which I'm scrolling to find it, and I can't find. I'm going to have to do a quick search here, because I did not know that there was a company called Nephilim Producciones.
Ooh.
And it's entirely possible that we reported on this in the past of some production company named after the Nephilim here. But basically, they are a company that is owned, they're an advertising company that's owned by the Circular Group. And they got this this little website here that talks about one of their companies, that they're the umbrella companies, being Nephilim Producciones, and their advertising company, commercials, promos, branded content, film, fiction and documentary, and television. So over there in Spain, if you're if you're into the Spanish production of documentaries and fictions and promotions, you may have been watching something produced by Nephilim Producciones.
Nephilim update.
I love
Nephilim update. Nephilim update.
I love the idea of some Nephilim who are here on Earth, sent to do their master's bidding, and they just decide to start a production company and make some documentaries.
How do we get the message out? Oh, let's make film in Spain. Okay, what do we name the company?
Humans.
Nephilim Producciones.
I don't know. We're not the most creative of beings.
There is nothing new under
Well,
the
you
sun.
good? I'm sorry to have to cut it off.
No, I'm
but
good.
I'm
good.
I
We're
gotta
good.
scoot. I gotta scoot.
Yep. Get on
All
out of
right,
here.
everybody. Thank you, guys. Here's the thing. Remember, you can go to patreon.com/CCNT to support the show. You can also go to canarycryradio.com/support.
Yes, you can.
CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
That's right. We get some people, canarycryradio.com/support. There's a bunch of other fun ways to support the show financially. We got PayPal, we got recurring donations, one-time donations, even cryptocurrency, all sorts of fun stuff. Make sure to check it out. Also, I want to let people know, we haven't mentioned it in a while, except for at the beginning of the show, which is we have our own off Facebook community that you can join to find other people just like you. Listeners of the show, free thinkers, fringy folk, you got to connect with them. And the best place to do that is at canarycry.community. It's a real URL. Type it in, go there, make an account, join up, and say hey to other listeners just like you. It's away from the cold, grasping clutches of the lizard people over at Facebook. So there's no data mining going on. There's no nothing. But what there is a bunch of great people just like you. There's topics on pretty much everything fringy that we talk about here on the show, but there's also kind of regular topics going on. It's a great place. It's not just crazy conspiracy theory stuff. People are helping each other out with fixing their cars and sharing memes and all sorts of great stuff. So go to canarycry.community and get hooked up there. Gons, we didn't make a big deal about it, but happy 200th episode.
Yeah, 200 episodes. Woo! We got Bezos laughing at us. He's happy for us too.
this 3 shows a week thing really sped up that process. I think we were at 148 once when quarantine started, when we first got put on house arrest.
I think so, something like that.
Here we are, pretty impressive.
Yeah, we're impressed with ourselves.
We're impressed with ourselves, everybody. So, and we're impressed with you folk who come and watch. I mean, we would have stopped doing this a long time ago. Not the whole show, but the live stuff. If it weren't for you folks who come and watch the show live. So thank you very much. Thank you to our new Twitch followers, of which I've already shouted out most of you, but there is a brand new follower I want to give a big shout out to, Busan Cheese.
Busan Cheese.
Thank you, Busan Cheese. All right. I think that's good. Am I forgetting anything, Gons?
I think we're good.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Now, here's the thing. Y'all got friends, you got followers, you got followees that are still getting all their news from the mainstream or, God forbid, their Facebook wall. And here's what you got to do. Step 1, you walk right up to them. Step 2, you grab them by the cage. And step 3, you got to shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. You got to let them know where to go. Remember, we're streaming live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays until we don't. But you can find us here 3 times a week. And remember, we don't just live stream. We also have a few podcast feeds. So if you want to listen to any of the other 200 episodes that we've done, just search for Canary Cry News Talk. You can also check out our other show, Canary Cry Radio. 2 different shows, but you're going to want to listen to both of them. You can find them on any podcast catcher. So make sure to do that. And remember to leave a rating and a review. Okay, everybody, that's all we got for this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage.
I want to shake things up, shake things up. I want to shake things up, shake things up. Leave the bird alone. I want to stir up some controversy. I want to rattle a few cages. I'm the last angry man. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man. I'm the last angry man. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man. A crusader for the little guy. Well, we'll see about that.
Whatever, Illuminati.